Welcome, everybody. A little bit of an impromptu episode of the Wrestling vs. World podcast. You'll enjoy your day, sweet if not, what the hell ever. An impromptu episode because I wanted to discuss this now that the news is fresh as of recording this. But it's now been confirmed that the WWE Network, in terms of the whole streaming service, is coming to a permanent conclusion. As of January 1st, 2025, it's been announced that the WWE Network will no longer be available in any countries. I believe, I know the emails are going out now saying that going forward, starting at the beginning of 2025, Netflix is going to be the new home of WWE. And the WWE Network will essentially be no more after almost 11 years of existence. Now, this is kind of a surprise in a way, but sometimes somewhat not, because I know the future was still unclear with the network and this Netflix deal. We knew it was the whole downfall of the WWE Network here in the United States. We did not need to worry about because we've been on Peacock this whole time for the last year or two, however long it's been. But to hear that this whole service is finally going away completely is kind of sad. I mean, I know there are people that probably still use the network that are here in the United States if you use a VPN. I know people have given tutorials saying on how to do it with all these different services and everything to access all this stuff. But it's just part of me feels like, at least here in the US, we kind of took the network a bit for granted. I know there were times when people got pissed off at WWE and the whole cancel WWE Network thing happened. We know what happened after Royal Rumble 2015 and maybe a couple of other times. I mean, especially with Hell in a Cell 2019 as well. But the thing is, for somebody like me, I prefer the network, the original WWE Network, rather than Peacock. Because, I still remember the first time I checked the network after getting my subscription and checking it while I was at Taco Bell, trying to check one of the Bad Blood pay-per-views. I think it was 04. But for me, at least when it comes to my taste, I feel like we had the better deal with the WWE Network for two reasons, especially compared to Peacock. First of all, when it comes to the content, at least with what we were presented, the WWE Network gave us content that was completely relevant to us as wrestling fans. You go there, all you're going to get is wrestling content that the WWE was actually putting out there with WWE, ECW, WCW. There were some edited stuff as expected and everything, and not everything was available. There's still stuff that would get updated from time to time. I know it's been 6.5 years. We still haven't got any more episodes of Heat on there. Hint, hint. But at least with the content on there, they all had a common thing. You were there to see the wrestling content. So you got what you were expecting. With Peacock, at least for something like myself, I really don't care for it that much because, yes, you have access to the WWE content as well as what you've got anything else that's owned by Peacock, like NBC related stuff and everything, like The Office and movies, whatever they stream and all that shit. But for somebody like me, I don't care for that stuff, honestly. I've been on Peacock ever since they did the whole changeover, and not once have I used Peacock to check out any other content outside of the WWE content that we've been having on there. It's yeah, it's nice to have extra stuff that you're paying every month for, a bigger expanded library of stuff you can check out on the side. But for somebody like myself, who's just mostly a wrestling fan, I'm not going to be interested in other stuff that NBC/Peacock is giving to us on there extra on the side. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just I'm sure there are other people who also feel the same way, saying that they don't check out everything that's on Peacock. It's just, we're there for the WWE content, don't care for anything else. So it feels just we're paying for a bunch of stuff we don't really feel the need to use. But also, one thing I know this is going to be a bit of a weird point that I still give the network props for compared to Peacock, especially as of late. But at least with the network, I don't know if this has happened since it stopped being here in the US, became exclusive elsewhere. But at least with the network, even though they would shove this down our throats, they at least had a consistent monthly price of $9.99 a month. I know, I'm giving you all flashbacks from the time they shoved it down our throats in 2014 on the episode of Raw, huh? But at least it was a consistent month-to-month price. $10 a month, boom, easy. With Peacock, yeah, the starting price started with $5 if you want to have ads, and then probably $10 or whatever if you wanted the full experience without ads. But since then, they've gone up in price a few bucks. It started with $5. I'm doing the whole ad-free, or the whole I'll tolerate ads type thing, because sometimes I'll watch pay-per-views live, sometimes not, so I'll go through the ads. But it started off with $5, and now it's up to $8. So it's just like that's a big headache I always get with all these different services that stream stuff, whether it be music or television shows and everything. It's just like, pay this, and next thing you know, the price just starts jumping up for whatever reason out of nowhere. It can happen once a year, maybe a handful of times, just because they want to. But again, at least with the network, even though it was more expensive per month compared to like the minimum price you get for Peacock, at least it was consistent every month. Never during the time that we had it here in the U.S. did we ever get an email saying, hey, the network is going up in price. Get ready to pay more than $9.99, which is going to make all the advertising irrelevant. But this is, like I said, it's kind of a shame. I know they were like having these plans back in like late 2011, 2012 or something like that when they had the first like advertisement and everything saying, get ready for the network, and you had dubstep playing and everything. Then they had to shelve it away for a bit before finally giving us a service. But it honestly feels like we took the network for granted. Again, I know people were pissed off a few times at WWE, and they felt like the only way to try to quote-unquote get them to listen to us is by handing them in their pockets by unsubscribing from the network, but that didn't really work, did it? But it's a shame. It's the end of an era. You know, it's like, again, I understand that they've got this deal with Peacock. I don't know how it's going to affect us here in the U.S. for Netflix other than the whole Raw thing going forward. Like, we know it's coming up in January. Who knows? And there's also still confusion as well as what kind of content will be available from the start when this whole thing happens with Netflix. Like, what kind of content will be over there that people can see, what won't be there. I know that's still been a gray area, so it's still fuzzy to everybody. But I mean, it's just like, I still to this day miss the WWE Network, like, as a standalone service, and like I say, I wish that we didn't lose it. It's just a shame. Like I said, I feel like we took it for granted from when we had it, and it became one of those things where it's like, you didn't know what you had till it was gone. Because once it was gone, people just like, oh. Because again, nothing against Peacock. Nothing against Peacock. But again, when you got the prices constantly rising out of nowhere, and you got a bunch of content that wrestling fans might not want to see outside of wrestling, it's like, yeah, it's a good price, but it still feels like there's a lot of availability there that doesn't really pique our interests. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, right? But anyway, let me know what you all thought in the comment section below. What do you all think about this news about the network being discontinued coming up shortly in the future? I mean, I know it's not going to affect everybody because, again, it's already done for a lot of us, but still, to see that it's about to go, massive shame. If you enjoyed today's episode, folks, please remember, leave a like, subscribe with the bell turned on when you're listening to this on YouTube. Comment below what you think. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.